we need to take action. Why do we need to take action? Because we take control of what our mind is actually, thinking, which is causing the overthinking to, okay, I don't want to do that. If I do that, I will get, it will be risky, or it's dangerous, or I will fail, all these stuff. So this is why I keep overthinking. So this will happen and this will happen. And whenever I take the action, I feel like I'm somehow happy. There is some happiness whenever I'm taking action, even if I'm failing, but I'm happy because I get over it. And this is why I always think that, yeah, our mind, every time I feel that I'm postponing or procrastinating something or overthinking something that just keeping me away from starting and taking action, is that feeling that, yeah, the comfort zone. And the comfort zone is dangerous, not just because, again, it's weird because, as I said, our mind is programmed in a way to keep us safe, but that procrastination and that overthinking, again, it causes stress and anxiety. So we need to take action. I mean, taking action is everything. Even in my workshops about Ikigai, the purpose of life, and the Japanese tool, in all the books related to Ikigai, taking action is the key to everything. If you want to do something, if you want to start, try, whatever you want to do, without taking action, it doesn't mean anything. Now, I'm not saying that you just need to take action without planning. You can plan, but planning is different than, overthinking. Planning is just putting things on the table, checking what do you have, potentials that you have, the skills that you have, the hobbies that you can use, the skills that you can use. And yeah, just start doing it. Just start planning. And then maybe you can plan within a week and then start, but it's different when you keep overthinking and planning to start, but failing to start. This is all caused by overthinking. I know people that literally waited for 3-4 years, and they keep telling me that, yeah, I'm working on the plan, or I'm working on a website, working on a logo. I don't know. And 4 years is a lot, if you work like 30 minutes every day, that's a big project to cover. Yeah, so just act. I love this, call to action. Just act.
Yeah, and I think there's a difference between being reckless and taking action. So we're not, like you said, it's not about just doing anything and being reckless with your actions, but it's about being able to go get a little bit more information than when you already have, and that only happens through engaging in life. Like, you have to be like Rashina, my friend Rashina always says, like, being in the field of action, because if not, you're just kind of sitting on the sidelines, and you don't get to experience anything really. And I like what you said about, that rush that you get when you take action, because I always like to come back to physiology, because I'm a bit of a physiology nerd. But there's actually a healthy level of cortisol that we need in our body. So like a little boost of cortisol, which is that feeling you get with it, you were saying, Jack, when you do the thing and you get excited. That's like a healthy dose of cortisol. It's a healthy shot from your nervous system. It's like, it has a bit of the energy of that stress, but it's just enough to like wake us up. It's kind of the feeling when it reminds me when I went skydiving. It's like you get that, there's that rush of adrenaline, but then when you jump out of the plane, it's like the most incredible feeling ever. And if we want to experience life in a more exciting way, we have to jump out of the plane sometimes and take some risks. And that's when the magical things happen. That's when we meet people that we never thought we would have met, or we find a business partner, or we launch a product, or things that are not planned happen when we take action.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember. I always try to remember not going to an event and feeling, happy that I didn't go. But I always feel that, when I go to an event or do an extra step maybe, or take action, talk to someone, there's always an opportunity.
Yeah.
A few days ago, I was in It was an exhibition for history books, you know? And then I was talking to every stand, every booth, and then I was leaving. Suddenly I saw that booth. It was nothing actually related to what I was looking for, but I said, okay, let me ask. This was the only booth that I didn't. So I spent like 2 hours talking with someone at that stand, talking about social entrepreneurship. She was a lady like working in that field, doing storybooks for kids to teach them history in a creative way. And then she said, I'm more into social entrepreneurship. I want these kids to be open. So, oh my God, it's like, you know, it was, for me, it was a dream to be talking to someone like this. And then we had the connection, and we're always talking. So, you know, imagine, I mean, it was the booth that I said, no, okay, let's leave that. Let me leave this booth. And every time I go to an event, even that I feel that it's not important, the topic is not really important, I go and I say, oh, I'm very glad I did it. Or if I start a new idea, maybe talk to a partner with a new idea. I mean, there's always opportunities, you know, and they're somewhere hiding, always those opportunities. You cannot see them until you take that action, because it's I mean, it's a step-by-step thing that you need to follow and see what's next. Just focus on the first step. You don't need to look to the whole road, what would happen and what opportunities do I get. Just start, you know, the first step, it's in front of you, and just do it. And then the next step would be clear when you finish the first one.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think it's important what you just said is like to remove any kind of expectations to like for a result or to receive something or to because when you take an action with those expectations, I think sometimes you can miss important information or important opportunities because you have something in mind already, but just really going with an open mind and seeing what happens. I have these moments all the time. You know, I talk a lot about following your intuition, and sometimes I think about all of the things that I've taken action on that I've done. And then I think about what my life would look like today if I would have not done those things. And it's literally terrifying because I think about the people I would not know, the experiences I would not have had, just from taking a little leap forward and seeing what was there, you know, in the, like you said, in the unknown space. Because what is in the known space, there's not really any new potential there for growth. It's just what we know. And it's scarier to kind of take an action into something that, or it's not familiar, talk to somebody we don't know, do something new. It's unknown, but that's where there's a lot more potential for growth and opportunity, I think.
Yeah. And by the way, this is more like for many people, many people can relate, and it can like taking action should be like everyone should take action on a project, on maybe an event or in their job, or ask for, I don't know, getting new skills. But it's really important and essential and critical for entrepreneurs, because we are managing our own time, our own life. You know, it's very important for entrepreneurs, more than it's important to anyone else. Because I mean, our journey is about just, you know, just going with the flow and see where it takes us. I mean, planning is important. We always do planning. I'm sure of that. But, you know, within that planning, there is always some the thing or the step that we already have in front of us, and what is hiding behind that step. When we go there, and when we take that step, we feel that there's something new gonna happen. We're gonna learn something new. And this is why most of our projects, and maybe we start a company, and few years or few months later, the concept can change, you know, immediately, because we start thinking about the opportunities that we can have. So yeah, but let's go back to overthinking. I mean, when you work on your entrepreneurial skills, you understand that overthinking is can kill the ideas, can kill the opportunities. So you start acting. And this is why it's always risky when you start. You feel that it's risky, but at the same time, like the example that you said about, jumping from a plane, it's like, yeah, it's the same feeling, because when you jump and then you start getting all the, sweet and feelings that once, first that you did it,
Yeah.
second that you're having new feelings that you cannot feel it when you're, sleeping in bed. You definitely have to take that step to feel it. And I can relate. I mean, it's stressful sometimes, but I think it's a balance between being bored and being anxious. In the middle, there is a good stress, that you have, that you feel happy, excited, energetic. I mean, this is what we want,
Right.
Some people try to do crazy stuff to get this feeling, and I'm
Yeah.
sure that, as entrepreneurs, we do crazy stuff at business. I mean, I always try stuff that sometimes I know that it's gonna fail,
Yeah.
it's that I go that far. I know that it's gonna fail, but I want to see what happens next, and
Right.
I think this is the ultimate decision that you can take. I mean, you don't do that in business, when I'm consulting businesses, I don't tell them that they should do this, but whenever I'm talking to entrepreneurs that they want to start, or even they started already, I tell them that if you know that you're gonna fail, try it. It's like something that I share with you as a nice thing to do maybe in your life, and it's not in business tip, but try it, because you have more opportunities, and you'll have that feeling that failure is not a problem. It's just a part of the process. As long
Yeah.
as you know what you're doing, you not just go and fail with anything, fail within your plan and fail within your strategy.
Yeah. And that's literally like how evolution functions. If we think about it, like if we think about science and life and this world we're living in, and everything we get to experience now, from these laptops to literally everything that is in front of us, in order for these things to come to life, someone had to experiment with stuff. And it's the same thing in business. We need to experiment, and sometimes, like you said, it's just like, this is probably not going to work, but I just want to go see what more information I can get from here. And I think that's where, I feel like we need to do a whole session on well, I have like 3 topics in mind that we need to do a session on. Personal leadership, failure. I think we could do like a talk on failure, and 100% we need to talk about ikigai. I forgot about that, and I love it so much. But our purpose as entrepreneurs is leadership. Like it's what we signed up for. If you are not willing to step into your leadership, it's like you can't do the entrepreneurial journey without stepping into your leadership. It's 100% essential. It sounds like you'd be like trying to drive a car without wheels. It just doesn't make sense, and yeah, I agree with that healthy dose of stress. It's the thing that gets us moving.
Yeah,
and it's so much more fun. My favorite business mentor, Richard Branson, is like signature quote is, if it's not fun, it's not worth doing. And I think we need to live more by that as entrepreneurs.
Yeah, I want to close that, what I said in a while, and I think the whole session, we don't want to maybe late more on the session, because most people are stuck somewhere when we say just start, don't overthink. It's something that you need to do. So I want to give some practical steps what to do when you're stuck there and overthinking. Actually, when you're taking the next step and you're just postponing it and overthinking before you take that action, is actually sometimes lack of knowledge what I need to do next. Sometimes it's ideation, defining your idea and shaping your idea, asking people. We talked about that and maybe in our first session, talking about how to start. So yeah, it's just go and learn those skills. First, you will feel like more comfortable that you're doing actually something. It's kind of action. When you go learn, watch a maybe YouTube video about ideation, about maybe branding, talking to people. It shouldn't be perfect. I mean, you can just do a very basic form of ideation, because when you start, you have a small audience. It's not that big risk. You just start. The world is not just looking on your idea and waiting for you to fail or look what you're gonna do. It's like the small circle, which is mainly friends and a few clients that whatever you do, they are fine. They are ready to help you with answers, with feedback. Just ask about feedback, and don't feel don't feel sad when you get the negative feedback, because that is what you want. You want the negative feedback, not the positive one, to keep improving your ideas. So if you don't start, you don't get this. You don't get the feedback. You don't find the chance to ask people. And don't be afraid that someone will steal your idea. I mean, you can sign an NDA and do all the legal stuff, but don't be afraid. It's not just about the ideas. It's how you implement those ideas. So I think these are some fears and some other than overthinking, we usually tend to get stuck there. What do we not do? What do we need to do next? I don't know. So ask some people. You can ask us if you want. You can send me a message, or Jennifer. We're ready to help. We love to see ideas starting. I love it.
Yeah, I think probably lack of information is probably one of the biggest things that gets in the way of people just taking action. And again, it's this idea that you don't need the information for the next 10 steps, just the next step. And again, that's literally what causes overthinking, is looking too far ahead. And there's literally no point in looking too far ahead, because every step you take is going to have a ripple effect on the next thing. And it's probably not going to turn out how you thought it would anyways. So doing all of that work to plan things out so far in advance is kind of like almost wasting time, energy, and resources. So yeah, I love that. Yeah. Well, maybe next week we can talk about failure and like dig into that, because I think if we can demystify failure a little bit, and also highlight all of the good that there is in failure, that could be something really inspiring to get people unstuck a little bit.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to see here if there's any comments. I don't think there's any comments yet.
No, there's not yet. I was checking.
Okay. As we always check the comments after the event. So if ever you guys have any comments or questions, you can put them in the event's comments, and we'll check them. Or if you have any topics that you want us to talk about the following weeks, because Jack and I show up every week to do these sessions with a different angle around getting unstuck and taking action. So feel free to, or just send us a private message in LinkedIn and let us know what you'd like us to talk about. We're happy to do that. And yeah, I don't know. Is there anything else you want to add, Jack?
Yeah, no, that's it. Just keep asking and keep learning, and just stop overthinking, start acting.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Jennifer.
Thank you.
I love the topic of next week. Looking forward.
Failure. Yeah, I like it too. It'll be fun.
Yep. Okay.
All right. Well, thank you everyone for showing up.
Lovely night.
Bye.
Bye.